G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the north side of the map. Playing in the colour orange as the Ottomans. We've got old control. No delete here though. Just gonna be old control. Nice 2 system commands. Nothing too crazy. Spawning in on the south side of the map though. A little bit more crazy. In the colour pink as the Abbasid dynasty. It's Give You Anxiety, aka GUA. One of the best players in the world. Lining up once again on the ranked ladder. Great to see him out here. Still grinding hard. Still practicing. Probably going to be teeing up towards that Golden League too. I don't know if you guys have heard. There's more than just rumors. There's confirmation, ladies and gentlemen. We got Golden League 2 coming to Age of Empires 4. May have seen it the first time around EGC TVs. Golden League. At the time, I think it was the largest prize pool for any Age of Empires event in history. Obviously, the Red Bull Wallalol came along very quickly after and, well, somewhat knocked it down a peg. But I'm sure he'll still be practicing nonetheless. Now let's talk a little bit about this matchup. The Abbasid dynasty against the Ottomans. 2 Muslim civilizations, both unable to take the boars. One of them has a berry advantage. The other one has a berry landmark. So expect to see a lot of berries this game. But I think another interesting thing to note is that since the Ottomans have been introduced, the Abbasid dynasty have fallen out of favor. We don't see them as often as we used to. They used to be a very popular civ. Many consider them to be one of the best civs in the game, if not the best civ in the game. How long ago was it? Maybe 3 months ago, 4 months ago. A really solid civilization. I remember back at N4C as well. Another really popular civ. Then the Rus kind of took off as well. But they've fallen out of favor. And as a result, we don't really see this matchup a whole lot. I'd suspect that the Ottomans are actually going to have a tough time here. And the reason why is because the Abbasid dynasty love to play cavalry. And the Ottomans don't necessarily like that. They're kind of like playing against archer civilizations because they can do archers very well. Obviously, they can play against cavalry. It just makes it a little bit more difficult. So I'm wondering what GUA is going to throw over at alt control this game. I think the most important thing to remember is that Abbasid dynasty should be able to safely get a second town center up before that Ottoman attack comes through. And as long as they don't lose too many vills, they should be able to outscale their enemy. And as long as you're able to outscale them, then you should be okay. But obviously, it's more to that. I mean, we're talking in a perfect world, in a vacuum. That might be the case, but obviously, at this Kong 3 level, even though these players are very, very good, they still do make mistakes. First of the age ups coming through. It's going to be GUA with the economic wing. No early wheelbarrow, at least not yet. But suspect it's going to be on the way shortly. 3 vills out on gold. I expect with this drop off, as well as this one, we're going to see that wheelbarrow coming through any second. Go on, GUA, give it to us. Give it to us, GUA. Go on, GUA. Why isn't he doing it? He should be doing it. All right, we'll come back to him later. We'll come back to him later. Don't worry. He's thinking about other things. Don't worry, I'm sure. Maybe he's not going to go for it. All right. Twin Madrasa on the other side of the map. If you ever had a doubt about food, have a doubt no longer because we got 15 sheep over here. Plenty of sheep under the town center. Just being a little bit annoying with the scouts, but like this isn't even annoying anymore. This is just like this is just so silly. Scouts really don't do that much anymore, and I kind of like it. GUA still no wheelbarrow, by the way. So this is 100% intentional that he has left off. Oh my lord. 33 sheep. The sheep god. New Zealand has entered the chat. Wales has entered the chat. Who else do we joke about with sheep? For us in Australia, it's New Zealand. New Zealanders, feast your eyes, friends. Tonight, we party. Indeed we do. But looking in at GUA's side, he's got a very large amount of gold, and I'm not quite sure exactly what's going on with all this gold. 260 gold. Obviously, fresh foodstuffs is going to be coming through. He's going up with the economic wing. Fresh foodstuffs any second. 3, 2, 1. Does he go double broad axe here, actually? Why? You know, the joke often goes, why the long face, but why the long gold? What is going on with this gold? GUA, you're better than this. You're better than this, GUA. I believe. Stone outcropping going to get taken. Twin Madrasa coming in. 455. Not a bad timing. There's the wheel. There's GUA. Why? GUA forgetting that the wheelbarrow is unlocked in the Dark Age, opting for it here in the Feudal Age. GUA, you can't do me like that. I introduced you as one of the world's best players, and we're getting our wheelbarrow this timing. Was he waiting for something? Maybe he was... Oh, you know what he was waiting for? It's classic GUA. He was waiting for his... he's not there anyway. Oh, so close. I thought he was waiting for his Golden Age to get... Before he got the wheelbarrow, but he doesn't actually have the Golden Age yet. One of the things that GUA does that I love, he actually adds in the second lumber camp. He doesn't need the second lumber camp, but he just kind of puts it off to the side just to... Because obviously you can put another house down, and sure, it's handy. It counts towards that 10 building camp, but you can just chuck down another lumber camp, right? Like, you're going to need another lumber camp, so I like the use of it. We do see the tier 1 now get activated for GUA. 15% gathering rate across the board. Very nice. Basically, this is like free deli upgrades, except you get them like a minute faster. Very nice. Wheelbarrow on the way through. GUA now. Couple of horsemen coming out. We're right on board with his opponent. Alt control and see how he's doing as he drops the first of the military schools. Stable also going to be coming down at the 6-minute mark. Does alt control look for a potential second town center? I don't think so. He's keeping track of the Abbasid. And look at this. He's checking both stones because there are 2 stones. So really good job to keep tabs on both of the stones here. My fear is that if you play cavalry against the Abbasid, it's not going to work out well for you. And the barracks comes down as well. You know, when I think about it, I fear this matchup might actually be really tough for the Ottomans. Like, how do you play this, right? Because obviously we should have started with a military school in the Dark Age. There's no question about that. You come out here with the military school, you just be annoying on the gold vein, right? Like that's an obvious mistake in my opinion from alt control. Not to have used that. I think you got to go into the second military school, but what kind of unit comp are you thinking about? Because you can go for a big archer ball. Maybe just go big archers as well as adding in spears, but the thing is, actually, no, it could work with the meta. Oh, I don't know, man. That's a tough proposition. I genuinely don't know what the best comp to go is against. Maybe you just go aged 3. Maybe you got to go castle age to deal with the Abbasid. Because I just feel like naturally the horsemen are just going to outmaneuver you on all fronts. We see triple horsemen going to be coming through. First Vizier point also going to be coming through for alt control. Don't you dare go Anatolian Hills. I swear, if you go Anatolian Hills, I'm going to be crying to the hills right now because you got enough food there, my friend. You don't need any more. Expect to see the meta in. How many sheep is he on? He's on 25. If that goes up to 33 again, it's going to be a madman. First of the camels though coming through, and this is why you can't really play cavalry against this composition of the Abbasid dynasty because your cavalry does less damage. Got that unease and a negative 20%. The other thing you're going to have trouble with are your spearmen. Spearmen getting picked off, kited by these camels. Doesn't look like the Vizier points come through just yet. GUA putting on the pressure. The one base Abbasid dynasty coming out strong in the blocks. Coming out of the blocks strong, maybe a better way to say that. Beautiful micro. GUA, some of the best micro in the game right here. Strategic mastermind as well. Nice little job picking off. Doing some damage here to this. Look at the spears. They get one shot off. Let's see how many they're able to get more off. And he's just gonna forfeit a couple of the scouts. Looks like all 3 spear go down. So GUA once again in a solid position. I still don't know where that next Vizier point is, and we do see archer numbers building up. And I feel like this is probably gonna have to be the answer, right? Like you need to get a big strong archer ball. But the problem that you're gonna have is you can never really move out. You're always gonna be potentially flanked. And maybe you gotta play 2 TC, but what if the Abbasid just plays 1 TC like GUA right now? This is so difficult to deal with. The mobility that comes out from GUA here is going to be amazing once this wood line is exhausted. Still continuing to apply pressure. He's relentless at the front of the base here. Alt control looking to try and get in a couple stabs. Is successful, but the camel archer is going to be trying its best to say something about it. He's got to be careful. Oh my lord, he almost lost a whole lot of life right there. More units coming in for GUA. Spearmen trickling through. He's doing a great job. Look at the amount of damage that comes out from these camels. GUA gonna have to fall back from this position. Archer numbers looking good. And I think alt control's probably playing it the best you could. You can see the archers trying to pick off the camels. And at the same time, Spahi and Spearmen trying to defend the archers, but they're gonna have to fall back towards the town center. Alt control really struggling. Trying to stay ahead in this game. Villager does get pulled. And remember, the longer this game goes, the better it gets for GUA. He's only paying 25 food for his vills. So they pay off very quickly. The thing that Old Control's got going for him are those military schools. And I think in the long run, you'd probably prefer the military schools because they're going to give you a bit more oomph. But being on the defensive here, it's going to mean that Old Control may lose villagers at any point. Just got to be so careful. You can see one villager on the front here just going to get picked off by the camels. It's going to be the first vill of the game. Did it not go down? It didn't go down. Oh my lord. I was looking at it. I'm like, where is the vill kill? It wasn't there. GUA doing some good damage though. Really good trades. And I think when you watch a player like GUA, you just begin to appreciate micro, right? Like the stuff that we're seeing here, it's just superior micro is what's coming out right now. A little bit of a counterattack. Not really, it's just a scout doing scout things. Spearman on the front side. Looking to try and block in these horsemen. And now you've got a problem, right? Because the camel numbers are really high. And you don't really have enough archers to contest it. Military pop 10 versus 13. Spahi coming out once again. GUA just really putting on the pressure here. Non-stop pressure. This is Abbasid 1 TC. And he's not interested in going for stone at all. This is kind of crazy that GUA is playing a 1 TC style of Abbasid. And it's actually working. Like, he's not even thinking about a second TC at this point. I played plenty of games against GUA, and very often he'd look to that second TC around this timing, 11 minutes. We do see the meta coming through. So meta drum's going to be the first point that gets used here. Does he go into military school as well? I suspect it's probably around that time. He's got 100 stone in the bank. And as I mentioned before, as soon as you exhaust this wood line, that's when GUA's mobility is going to come in handy. On a map like this, where you've got barely any wood, this is where the mobility really shines. Look at GUA pushing out into the middle. Plenty of berries out here. More units running across the map. Still no sign of a second town center. Look at GUA, just so comfy. Out here, not worried at all. Just keeping his opponent bundled up in their base. GUA's microtasking really starting to take off. Up to 20 military pop now. Remember, all of that food that he's saving from building 25 food villages, he's funneling that into units. Every minute, he's got an extra 75 food. And that starts to build up. We're 12 minutes into the game. He researched this tech at 5 minutes. That's 7 minutes. You're talking more than 500 resources right there. That's a huge amount. Look at these vills being forced back away from this woodline. They wanted to go for it. No, Control, gotta be careful. Looking to try and push out towards this north side. Sneaky little lumber camp. Ain't gonna be happening, at least not for the moment. And the age up comes through. It's gonna be the Istanbul Imperial Palace. Instead of opting for the MIA. I think this makes a lot of sense. Your enemy's going for a full cav comp. Obviously, your Mangonel can do well against the camel archers. But at the end of the day, they can dodge, they can duck, they can dip, they can dive. And of course, they can dodge. Still chasing away. Not paying attention back here. Or at least not paying defensive attention. We do see the spearmen and the archers making their moves over here. No upgrades coming through on any of these units except for the Ottoman units. GUA gonna be forced back from this position. Counterattack once again coming through on that south side. And GUA just out microing him right now. Almost just out multitasking. You know, back in Age of Empires 3, GUA was known as the multitasker. That was actually, that was his middle name. Give you the multitasker anxiety. And look at this, villagers getting cleaned up on this south side. It's all about this mobility. Age up still being delayed. 9 villagers on it, and GUA going to be looking at age up himself. And Abbasid just so happy camping underneath this town center. Able to do so much damage. Oh my lord, look at the villagers! Oh my god, look at the villagers! You've got one option here. You've got a single option. You got to go Janissaries. You got to go Janissary all in. It's the only way you can win. I wonder if Old Control puts the 2 and 2 together. He needs to age up. Spend that point on Janissaries immediately. Or rather, age up, drop down your 2 military schools, and then get your Janissaries. Get 8 Janissaries out, and look to blitz the field. That's the only way I can see a way back through for this. But even then, he went for the Imperial, Istanbul Imperial Palace. Still getting forced back to the town center. GUA just having an absolute field day here. Look at this. Right up towards the north, just in case Culture Wing going to be coming through for him. Istanbul Imperial Palace. And GUA playing a solid 1 TC playstyle here. Beautiful stuff coming through from him. Micro on the backside. 3-to-1 military numbers. Alt Control really suffering. Let's see if he can convert this, though. Needs to look towards a potential military school expansion. You hate to see it. You hate to see it just outside of the range of the blacksmith. There's that vizier point. Where does he look to go? You don't want to go Janissaries right now. You've got to get those military schools first. Horseman still chilling up the top. GUA with just a complete dominant surrounding. I think this might be the hardest Ottoman matchup. I'm pretty sure it is. And I think GUA's played it impeccably. Perfectly. The timing on everything here. The single town center. Never stopped the Ville production. And as a result, he's got those extra resources to put into units. I found it very interesting that he opted for the single TC rather than going for a second. I feel like he could have gone for 2 and gotten away with it. But by going for the 1 TC, I mean, when you see what GUA is able to put away here, I think it becomes brutally obvious why you wouldn't want to go for 2 TCs. Just go for 1. Look at the damage you can do. Especially on a map like Prairie. With wood everywhere, scattered around. Speaking of scattered around, look at this. GUA just Ville's all over the map. He's playing like it's Age of Empires 3. And the age up comes through. GUA got to be looking for those veterancy upgrades. Preservation of knowledge. Reducing the cost of all technologies by 30%. Only takes 30 seconds to get through as well. But do you want to wait an extra 30 seconds for your veterancy? That's the question. Good game just going to get called. Alt Control. Throwing in the towel that early. The 1 base Abbasid dynasty. I remember mocking this. I mocked this at Wallalol. And GUA comes back in striking form. Fellas, go check him out. I'll leave a link in the description. He streams in English. He's a hell of a player. He might even be live now. Go say good day for me. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.